Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your business, please?
Yep, I'm called Jo Lott, and I'm a business coach who helps qualified coaches get clients with honesty, not hype.
Can you talk a little bit about where you were in your business when we started working together?
Yes, I had speak on podcasts on my to-do list for about 2 to 3 years, maybe longer. And I just couldn't seem to get on and do it. And you did a great talk in my group. So again, we had the information to be able to do it, but I still, I don't know what, time-wise, just could not prioritize doing it. So then I thought, let's just actually make this a priority for quarter one of 2025 and make it actually happen. I think for me, the fear of rejection, the even knowing what type of podcast to pitch to, because obviously the only podcasts I probably really know are super famous podcasts. So I just couldn't figure out where to speak on, and I couldn't face pitching in case I was rejected. So that was mainly what was going on for me prior to booking you.
I think that's often quite normal as well. So, what did you find most valuable about working with us?
I think getting you guys doing the research, getting the list of podcasts, realizing there were, I don't know, 60 plus podcasts or something on that list that you thought I could be pitched for was really exciting. Realizing when I received the list that it wasn't as scary as I thought, and I didn't mind at all that someone was going to be messaging these people to pitch me on their podcast, and also knowing that the actual process and pain of hitting send on the email was out of my hands, so that was really helpful. And then obviously then starting to hear back that people were saying yes, the process to getting booked was super seamless and just sorted in no time. The prep for speaking on each podcast was really thorough. I knew exactly where I had to be, at what time, what link, the sort of thing I should be talking about, the topic that was useful for them, a brief on the sort of podcast I was talking on. So it was just made really easy for me.
Oh, that's really good to hear. I'm glad. And what results or wins have you experienced since we started working together?
Yes, I guess I spoke on about 8 podcasts, something like that.
Excellent.
So my goal was to speak on 6 podcasts in the first quarter. I think I obviously exceeded the goal if I spoke on around 8 podcasts. I obviously met amazing podcast guests, had the prestige or authority of speaking on other people's podcasts and being able to promote that to my audience, showing that different side to myself, because usually I just do solo episodes. So I gave so many different stories by being on, actually interviewed myself, that it was really great for my credibility, and also to see how much I could actually help the hosts and how excited they were about the types of things I was sharing, which helped my confidence in, gosh, this is really valuable what I'm sharing here. My own podcast listeners went up dramatically, so they've never been higher than they are right now. So I haven't done anything else different. So I'm assuming that that's extra listeners from their podcast maybe have come over to listen to my podcast. I've received messages of people who have listened to it saying, thank you so much. It really resonated. More lead magnet signups to my lead magnet. So therefore my email list has grown. And some of them are only just going out now, or I think I'm even still waiting for some of them to go out. So obviously the full benefits aren't probably materialized yet, because also we obviously have the SEO, which really helps to get the backlinks from them and things like that. So it's been an amazing experience.
Fantastic. How would you describe your experience of working with us?
Super exceeded my expectations. Everything was super supportive. People remembered when I had an interview that day and always checked in to ensure that I obviously knew about it and I was prepared and I had everything that I needed. Then obviously, I think you guaranteed me 6 podcasts, but you've been over and above. And even now, a month or two over our time together, I know we've had some people come back now and we're still arranging those last ones, which is brilliant. So it was great that it wasn't just right, you've had your six, goodbye. It was still ongoing and over delivered as well on that.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad. What was your biggest takeaway from the experience?
I think that it's just worth paying someone for something that you possibly could do yourself, but in all reality, if it's been on your to-do list for longer than 6 to 12 months, then just think, what's going to change to make me actually do this and do something differently to make sure it happens. I also got a call with a public speaking coach type person, which was great in helping me to frame my ideas, and a tech person to ensure that my tech setup sounded good. So I think the biggest takeaway is just to get help, get somebody else to do the things that they're an expert at and the things that are on your to-do list for far too long, and just make them happen.
What's next for your business?
I think I will continue. I have been, I guess, relieved because it's been a busy period, and a lot of them were US podcasts. So there was a lot of evening interviews, which I'm exhausted by the evening. So I've been relieved to have a month or two off podcasting for now, talking on others' podcasts, because, as I say, lots of them were different time zones. But I would definitely continue. I wouldn't be afraid now to pitch myself to someone's podcast. And what's next? Also, I guess inviting some people on my podcast. We did a few podcast swaps, which was really good because currently my own podcast is solo episodes. And actually, I had quite a lot of listens on the episodes with other people and lots of comments back as well. And so I think learning that I can do that podcast swap, considering I have my own podcast, gives me much more confidence to be able to pitch myself and say, we can do a swap. So I think what's next for me is perhaps more of those podcast swaps.
Brilliant. And would you recommend our podcast booking service? And if so, to whom?
Yes, I would definitely recommend it. I would recommend it to anyone who wants to make podcast guesting part of their marketing, to, well, I was about to say experienced business owners who just want it done, but also new business owners who just want it done. Also, if your budget allows, then 100% do it.
Oh, thank you so much.